Did you know that too much success can destroy your business? Now, before you say, hey, you're crazy, come on, everybody wants to succeed. How can too much success destroy my business? Hear me out. I was recently reading an article on ESPN.com. Chris Lowe had interviewed Nick Saban right after he signed his contract extension with the University of Alabama. This is a couple of weeks after losing to Auburn, the disappointing end to the football season in 2013, and now watching Auburn go on to play for the national championship against Florida State. Nick Saban talked about the disappointing end of the regular season. One of the reasons he gave is this concept of winning too much. In the article, it says some of the issues on our team this year had to do with complacency and winning too much. We have to get back to the kind of character, attitude, and competitive spirit that we need to have. In other words, the team became satisfied with its history of success. I mean, that's exactly what he was saying there. And when I started reading that and thinking about it, it's like, you know what? There's a lot of businesses out there that are the same way. I've seen plenty of examples where these businesses, they achieve success and start feeling proud of themselves and start telling the world how successful they are and stop focusing on trying to get even better, and ultimately they just collapse. They just fail. The problems may not appear immediately, too. I mean, some of these companies, they may be profitable for years based on work they had done years ago, but they're not trying to get better now. So eventually, it catches up with them. The market moves on. People's needs move on. And all of a sudden, the company's left with something that people no longer need anymore, and the profits disappear and the company collapses. Just got through reading a book last week called Built to Last by Jim Collins. It's a great book. In fact, it's one of several I've read by him. In this book, he and his research team spent 5 years working on this book, comparing 36 companies, 18 that were very successful, long track record of success, and the other 18 very similar to the first 18, but have more failures in their company, and some of them, I mean, completely failed in the long run. Short-term success. In these comparison companies, some of them were market leaders at certain times in their company's history. But when you compared them to the 18 really successful companies, they just on the long haul didn't match up. They got excited with their profits. They just stopped spending money on research. They stopped. They never really had a core ideology on their company, and so forth. So ultimately, the comparison companies just failed because they didn't continue to try to challenge themselves to get better. The 18 successful companies, no matter how good they were as market leaders, they were always looking for flaws in their system. They were always looking on ways to improve. They were always looking for something new to invest in, knowing that at some point the product that would making them millions and billions of dollars now might eventually go away. So you got to be prepared to move on. Basically, I say this, tell you all this to ask you this. Are you built to last? Is your business, your church, your organization built to last for the long term? Now, I'm not talking about getting through the next 6 months or the next year even. I'm talking about decades. I encourage you to challenge yourself, to challenge your business. Look at today's achievements as tomorrow's benchmark. Look at the profit statement for this year as next year's worst case scenario. Never be satisfied with where you're at now, no matter how successful you are. And do this too as well. Make 2 lists. As this year, the 2013 gets ready to wrap up, make 2 lists. Make a to-do list and make a stop-doing list. Now, we all have a to-do list, generally, of things we want to do. But I bet there's something you're doing that really annoys you every day. You're thinking, this makes money, or maybe it doesn't even make money. Maybe it's a waste of money and time. But maybe it's something that you know in the back of your head, you know what, there's not much future left in this, even though we're making money at it now. Why don't you go and get at it now and start focusing your time and your money on something that may cost you a lot here initially, but you know in the back of your head, if you get this right, it will be huge for your company in the next 2 or 3 years. Focus your time on the things that have a future and stop focusing on the past.